Welcome to the Wildline Athletics video. There's three of us here because all three of us have ideas. We thought, why not all of us just jump in, right? So here we go. Stuart, what were you thinking about the ball?
Lots of options. I was thinking about those of you that might be training at home or at the gym when it's really crowded and you want to get some of the harder to work muscle groups in. You don't have equipment like a lat pull down or machines to get some of the trickier areas. So I'm going to just go through a couple of those areas. The first one's going to be the adductors, so the inner thigh. What I'm going to get, I don't know who wants to do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah. All right, so Brian's going to take a seat on the floor. And depending on your size and the ball size, this might be slightly awkward. So a bit of a smaller ball, sometimes a bit more effective or efficient. You can do it lying down as Brian is, or you can be in a seated position, just hold yourself up with your arms. But he's placing the ball between his knees. And then what he's going to do with his feet on the floor is he's going to pretty much do a clamshell. He's going to try and squeeze the ball as hard as he can. And that's going to, that's a little bit of a big ball here. There we go. And that's going to work the adductors or the inner thigh. He can hold it for 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, depending on what type of contraction, what kind of work you want to get. And the nice thing about working against a ball for resistance is you can build up as much pressure as possible, because the balls are not going to pop. Gotta watch what we say here, right? But yeah, so he can put as much pressure as he wants and get a very good amount of overload through the adductors without needing a hip adductor machine or cables or anything like that. All right, perfect. So that's adductors. Another muscle group we're going to target. I'm going to get Brian to just stay down there unless DJ wants to step in, tag team.
Oh, that's all right.
All right. So get you on a kneeling position there, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to work the lats, another muscle group that's kind of tricky to work if you don't have equipment, or pull-up bar, chin-up bar, that sort of thing. So he's going to bring the ball right into his thighs, placing his elbows on the opposite end of the ball, and all we're going to do is just cause a shoulder extension movement. So he's trying to pull his elbows in towards his body, and that's going to activate the lats, the same muscle group as your pull-ups, your seated rows, your lat pull-down. Okay, but again, you don't need big, fancy, expensive equipment. You just need the ball, and that provides good resistance to work the lats. Again, pretty good activation there, Brian?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, if you put the effort in, then that ball will push back, and you'll get a decent amount of load in the lats. Excellent. Good. So, a couple trickier muscle groups that we can do at home with the ball. DJ, you had one for some glute activation, I think?
Yeah, Stuart, you know, I saw you do before the client the stretch for lats on the ball. Because after you're doing that, they may want to do a stretch, right?
Yeah, so Brian just activated or worked the lats. Maybe he wants to get a stretch in the lats in. So from the exact same position that he was in, he's going to get his arms. I'll quickly demonstrate this one. So he just finished his ball squeeze with the lats. From there, he's going to stay in a kneeling position. Hands on top of the ball. We're going to keep the weight over the legs, and we're just going to start dropping the chest towards the floor, and that's going to put the arms into a flexed position, which will stretch the lats out. So a great stretch on the same equipment you were just using to work that same muscle group. Want to give that a try there, Brian? You could do those single arm or double arm, it's up to you. If you find that it's kind of hitting you in the head, then just move the ball out a little bit further. Good, and if you're looking for this to be a stretch for chronic changes, you probably want to hold it for 30 seconds or longer. If you're just looking for a light little stretch mid-set, you just hold it for 5, 10, 15 seconds, then come on out and repeat. And that should be felt right along from the armpit down through the sides and the back. Is that what you were thinking of?
That's the one.
All right.
Whereas this one I was thinking of, I mean, this one here I was actually just playing around one day with the ball, and I thought, hey, this is a good way to kind of build awareness about how your glutes work and how your adductors work. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stand with a ball between my legs, like this. My toes are going to be pointed outward. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze the ball together like so. So I'm going to be working my adductors when I do this, and I'm going to externally rotate my hips. So you can do this for reps, or you can do this for an isometric contraction. What I'm just going to do is squeeze together and then externally rotate my hips. And take your hands, have them on your glutes there, feel them contract. You're going to feel them contract quite forcefully here, and you can do this for a hold. I mean, pretty much what's going to happen is that just building awareness of how your glutes work, how your adductors work is often very important for understanding how you perform compound movements. You can feel your glutes firing, because people say, squeeze your glutes, fire your glutes, but you don't know what it feels like. An exercise like this is definitely going to give you the body awareness needed to perform a lot of different exercises and understand how the muscles work. So after a little while here, you're going to feel yourself shaking. And hold it for as long as 20 or 40 seconds, and then release.
Awesome.
All right. So anything else?
Yeah.
What about sitting on the ball?
Sitting on the ball.
Why do you sit on the ball?
Yeah. Well, so sitting on the ball is something that's been a little bit more popular in the last years in workplaces and that sort of thing. The reason why you may want to sit on a ball is that it's a little bit easier to encourage proper posture. So being nice and upright in your seated position, neutral spine, as opposed to being in a chair, it's a lot easier to slouch in. Important to keep in mind that just because you're sitting on a ball doesn't mean you're in good posture. I can sit on a ball with bad posture, just as easy as a chair, if I'm not aware of it. But oftentimes being on that moving surface is a good reminder to sit up nice and tall. The other nice thing about the ball is when we have slight movement going on at the pelvis throughout the day, if you're sitting at your desk for 4, 6, 8 hours in a row, that slight movement on the ball with the pelvis also creates a little bit of movement in the lumbar spine and up through the intervertebral discs. And that little bit of movement at the intervertebral discs helps keep the nutrients and the fluid float around to the intervertebral discs, which decreases the amount of stagnant pressure in one area. So when I sit on a chair with bad posture in this flexed position, I'm going to get a lot of pressure through the anterior surface of my intervertebral discs, and that pressure just sits there for hours and hours and hours, and that can lead to some not overuse, but some chronic deterioration through those tissues. So when we're on the ball and we're keeping things moving around, we're distributing that pressure, we're keeping things floating around, keeps the discs a little bit healthier. Similar to why exercise and movement in general is healthy for our bodies, because when we move around, it keeps things floating around, moving around nice and healthy, and it decreases stress in one area over time. So that might be why you want to use a ball to sit at either at the office or at home, and try to find a ball where the knees aren't way up above the hips or you're way up high. So try to find a ball where you're maybe slightly higher or hips slightly higher than knee height when you're seated in an upright position. Yeah?
Awesome.
All right. Wait.
Oh.
Yeah. So we got a couple of fun partner-based exercises that we can do if you have a friend at the gym and you got one of these balls or at home to work the core. Oftentimes when you incorporate a little bit of fun, you work a little bit harder, a little bit of competition, and everyone has a good laugh. So Brian has no idea what he's about to expect right now. We haven't done this before, so we'll see how it goes. If you can lie down on your back, please, Brian. Again, a little bit of a smaller ball might be better for this, but we'll see how it goes. Let's make it more challenging for Brian, make my job easier. So that ball's going to sit right on his stomach. I'm going to get you to bring your knees up to the side of the ball there. Yep, exactly, and then elbows on the opposite side. So it's pretty much I'm getting Brian to clamp down, squeeze the ball, and he's going to try to prevent me from taking it away from him. All right, so are you in there?
Yeah.
All right. You feel your abs working already?
Yeah.
Yeah, just wait. So I'm going to grab the ball and I'm going to start to pull. I can twist side to side. I can pull him sideways. He's holding on for dear life. He doesn't want me to take the ball away from him. I can push down towards the legs, toward the hip flexors a bit more. I can push up towards the elbows to get the lats activated a little bit more. But we're having a good time. And when he gets tired or when I get tired, I can just pull the ball away. Decent amount of work though.
Nice work.
Well done, Brian. Yeah, don't leave him on the ground when he's done. All right, we'll do one more exercise that's partner based. So Brian's just going to hold the ball on either side with his hands away from the body, and he's going to find himself in as stable of a position as possible. So to make it easier, he could go wide with his feet. To make it harder, he could go narrower. And I'm going to act as the external resistance that's going to make it hard for him to maintain this position. So he's going to try and hold that position like a statue or as a solid rock, and I'm going to start introducing external force. Now, be nice, if I just smack the ball as hard as I can, there's no way he's going to be able to hold it there. So we want to work together. You ready to go? So he's embracing his obliques and his rectus abdominis, and here we go. I'm going to apply pressure on one side. I can switch to another side. I can go up. I can press down. I can do fast taps, and he's just trying to hold it locked solid in the middle there. I can fake him out, think I'm going one way, and not go that way. And this is a fair amount of work, great for whole core stability. And again, that partner aspect is always a lot of fun, and just adds a different dynamic to your workout. Awesome.
Perfect. Thanks very much for watching.